Fellow citizens, today we are back, but today we are not just bringing a revolutionary voice, we are bringing a Pan-African revolutionary voice. And this was supposed to come on the 5th November last week, but due to power failure, or let me say persistent blackouts that we face in Malawi, and that has also coincided with the persistent shortage of fuel in this country, we could not come with this revolution. But we are back. We had to go and borrow a house of people that are lucky they have electricity for us to produce this revolutionary Pan-African voice. Our topic today on 9th November is Malawi must applaud our founding fathers for laying genuine democratic beacons. That is our topic. Malawi must applaud our founding fathers for laying a genuine democratic beacons. How? Sometimes it is important as a country to acknowledge and appreciate our past and present leaders. We must give them credit and accolades for their personal hearts, personal attitudes towards this nation. Number one, founding President Kamuzubanda had all the tools and machinery he could use to cling to power or manipulate democracy if he so wished in 1994. Number two, let me say B, Bagira Muluzi could have forced himself into third term despite national outcry because he had all the required implements to do so. C, on the death of late Bingwa Mutharika, DPP could have twisted the laws and barred Joyce Banda from constitutionally taking oath of office because they had all their tools at their disposal. Likewise, Madam Joyce Banda could use the tears of make chairperson Maxwell Mandela to cling to power so that democracy could be manipulated. But all these leaders could not take that advantage. They followed the beacons that speak democracy in our country. For this, we need to pay homage to those lost heroes and pay tribute to the living legends, our leaders, in Professor Peter Mutharika, Madam Joyce Banda, and the president that has just lost elections, Lazarus Chakwera. Number two, in 2019, after being declared a winner, Professor Peter Mutharika could not accept the court-sanctioned re-election under the new laws of 50+1. He had all the right. He could not agree. But because of democracy and the personal heart of accepting democracy, he conceded and allowed re-election. Number three, likewise, President Lazarus Chakwera could not stand tall on our national television to concede defeat to DPP and President Peter Mutharika if he had no good heart, because he had all the tools at his disposal. Number four, Malawi Congress Party has committed a lot of atrocities in 5 years from 2020. It could not just hand over power to an opposition party, DPP, just like that. But this tells that democracy has deepened in our country. For this, we must applaud and give credit to all political parties in Malawi as well as leaders. Number five, while our neighbor in Tanzania, or while our neighbors in Tanzania are denying their voters or their citizens the right to vote for leaders of their choice, in Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Cameroon, and South Africa, it is the same. So for us, it's a privilege. For us, we must thank our leaders, because other countries next door, they are denying their people that freedom. Number six, in Africa, liberation movements that tend to ruling parties are or have turned into monsters. While they fought colonialism against the killing of Africans, liberation movements have tended to be killers now. Because when people speak out that they don't want liberation movements to be in power, they are killed. We talk about Chama cha Mapinduzi. All of you are witnesses of what happened in Tanzania. Number seven, today we want to pay our accolades to liberation political parties in Malawi, Zambia, Kenya, and Botswana. These are Malawi Congress Party in Malawi, UNIP in Zambia, KANU in Kenya, and BDP in Botswana. We want to sound a bell or a warning to ZANU-PF of Zimbabwe, CCM Chama cha Mapinduzi of Tanzania, Frelimo of Mozambique, ANC of South Africa, SWAP of Namibia, MPL of Angola, CPDM of Cameroon, and others, that even though you fought for independence of your countries, does not mean you are best rulers of your country. There are new minds willing to correct what you have failed or failing to do. So let them be and give citizens of Africa a choice to choose their leaders. Number 9. It is on this reason the Revolutionary Pan-African Voice of today want to pay homage and accolades to the living leaders of Malawi, of Zambia, of Botswana, and Kenya. Let us say Makolo Kota Mhlophe in Zimbabwean language. Number 10. Late Kenneth Kaunda, late Kamuzubanda, late Edgar Lungu, former President Mokwesi Masisi, former President Bakiri Muluzi, former President Joyce Banda, former President Peter Mutharika and President Peter Mutharika, and former President Lazarus Chakwera. You may have your faults and shortfalls as humans, but on democracy, you are heroes. You love your nations more than your personal ambitions, because you have let democracy prevail. Thank you for that. Number 11. Africa must know and realize that you can be a freedom fighter par excellence, but that does not mean you will be the best president or best ruling party. It doesn't mean like that. Everyone has a fault, because even kings are known to be making mistakes. Number 12. Patriotism is not only to be in the government. We have seen and observed many African leaders, ministers, first ladies, and members of parliament mismanaging taxes of poor citizens because of power and positions. In most cases, not true patriots secure positions in the government. In most cases, true patriots are outside governments. By this, we appeal for patriotism to be our cornerstone as in Africa. Number 13. Malawi has come to a point where we can no longer believe political solutions to our economic and social challenges. When Malawi Congress Party was in power, offices of immigration and petrol stations across the country were full of people not getting services. Today, DPP is in the government. 30 days later, the same problem exists. Number 14. 31 days in the government, DPP government and Professor Peter Mutharika have failed to solve the problem of congestion in filling stations and at immigration offices. And this tells why did we change the government if these problems cannot be solved. We appeal for urgent solution now. Number 15. Why not just be honest to citizens of this country by telling them that they must go home until the time new contracts from this government are signed to print new passports, new contracts from this government are signed to procure fuel, then people must come. Other than allowing people to queue at immigration offices where you know that there will be no passports, there will be no services. Remember, these are the very people that put you in power on 16 September. Number 16. Let me say 17. What you must do is close offices of immigration and tell people to go home until you have signed a new contract with Technoblend or whoever. Then you can invite Malawians to come and get their services. Because for now, Malawians are paying for express passports. And immigration officers know that there are no passports in the country. But they allow people to pay for express, and it takes 1 month, 2 months before they get their passports. Let me warn governments in Malawi. Don't take citizens for granted. Number 19. The Revolutionary Party of Umuva Chilungamo, a party that is outside parliament, wants to make a fresh appeal to President Peter Mutharika, and DPP government. And we are saying, we are making this appeal to the president as a human being, as a person, and we are making this appeal to DPP as a ruling party, that this is the time for DPP to institute a new or fresh commission of inquiry over the death of the country's former vice president, Saulus Klaus Chilima. The country as well as the world deserve to know the truth. There are points that I want to state why we are appealing for a fresh inquest. Circumstances surrounding the Vice President's death demands an inquest. The following are reasons that commands fresh commission of inquiry. Number one, after this incident, whoever talked about the death or the accident of Chikangawa were arrested. The question we want to know, why were people being arrested when they were questioning or asking or talking about the death? What made the government to arrest the people? What were they afraid of? That's a question. Number two, government of Malawi Congress Party seemed to care less over the urgent demand for rescue team. Why did they care less to institute a rescue team immediately? Number three, by the time of the accident, late Vice President Saulos Chilima and MCP were not in good books. I'm talking about UTM and Malawi Congress Party. So we need to know what really happened. Number four, according to the international rules of IATA, that's International Association of International Aviation, international, I think, air or navigation, IATA, it's called IATA, regulations, no plane can be airborne without ensuring the availability of the black box or tape recorder. Now we wonder, why did this military plane allowed or get permission to fly? Number five, any military plane apart from parachute equipment has special tools and equipment that will force passengers or crew to escape, particularly if the plane is carrying a VIP. Number six, according to German accident report, it is saying the captain struggled with the plane for 26 minutes before it crashed. As a military pilot, couldn't she figure out parachuting the vice president with one soldier, knowing that the plane had the nation's vice president, who was second in command? That's our question. Number seven, there's no way a plane will be allowed, permitted or cleared to fly without making sure that all necessary equipment were at stake, were intact. Number eight, the plane developed fault 9 minutes, that I said already. The question is, in the plane, we are told the plane was flying 10,000 feet, and 10,000 feet, there is access for network of telephones. The question is, all the passengers in the plane, their phones were supposed to send any message talking about the plane or what happened during that day. We want to know the information that passengers separately sent to their relatives or to their families or to government officers. We need to know this. That's why we are calling for a fresh inquest. Number 10, this is not a call for political mileage for any political party or our party or leader, but this is a call for humanity. Number 11, when the three ministers were murdered by this very political party, Malawi Congress Party, in 1983, whoever talked about the accident were arrested, if not abducted. The same case happened under the accident of Chikangawa. The question is why? Because on 1983 issue, it was a murder by a political party. Now we want to understand why in 2024, people were arrested when they talked about this accident of Chikangawa. Are these two cases matching? That's a question. Our fear is that, was this not the same scenario where these people were murdered and all what we hear or heard were just rhetoric or cover up to hide the facts? That's why we need a fresh inquiry. Number 20, our appeal is carrying the heart of correcting mistakes of the past so that history don't repeat again. We asked for this very same inquest in 1994 under UDF, and UDF honored our call. And you know what? We all agreed, we all realized that the three ministers and one MP were murdered by Malawi Congress Party. It was because of the fresh inquiry. So we want to know what happened in 2024 in the Chikangawa crash. The last one. It is time for all political parties in this country, in the government or outside government, to take a leaf or a lesson on how we conduct our politics in this country. Ruling parties use common citizens to perpetrate violence against the other parties for them to get down to end their own greed. At the end of the day, when new government comes, it is Malawians that are suffering. We are talking of these Gwanje boys that are frequently in prison, that when they are given bail, they are arrested again. I think DPP, Malawi Congress Party, and all parties in parliament, you must learn a lesson now that don't use people for your political greed. Let us, we should embrace democracy and let the rule of law prevail and allow Malawians to vote for the government and the leader of their choice. Otherwise, democracy in Malawi is okay, but there is some other gray areas that needs to be ironed out in DPP, in Malawi Congress Party, and those parties that were in power before. For us who were not in the government, we tell you we won't do that because democracy in Malawi has holes. You are with me, Bantu Sanders Zuma. Have a great day. May God bless this beautiful nation. And let's together work hard to make sure that we recover our ailing economy and improve the social welfare of our people. And this can only happen if ruling party accept to work with opposition parties. This can only work only if the government open its ears from criticism so that you can solve the problem. Malawians, we are suffering today. In service stations in this country, there's no fuel. Petrol, diesel, paraffin, we can't find it. That tells that the economy has stopped. It's not moving. Immigration offices are now not providing any service. So what we need now is for us to work together so that we can solve these problems. Together, we can move forward. Divided, we can fall. Thank you very much.